Hey, Becky.
Hi, Tom.
How are you?
I'm tired.
You know what? I am too.
It's
I,
but I've had 3 weeks of construction, so it's over.
oh, it is over?
It is over. Now it's just a matter of putting things back.
Yeah, it was your kitchen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You happy with it?
There's about four things I'm not happy with. But you're used to having like for instance, I had a little pull down from my sink
Yeah.
and the new sink doesn't allow it. There's no room.
Uh,
There was a little shelf on the inside of the cupboard door under the sink that I put my soaps in.
yeah.
The door's too thin to put screws in.
Oh, geez.
And the new stove, the warming drawer, every time I walk up to the stove, I touch it and it pops open.
Oh, geez. Now they can fix that, can't they?
I don't know if that because it's just an automatic thing for I guess for the warming drawer because I was going to put cookie sheets in there,
Yeah. Huh. I'll
but
be darned.
it's done. And this back here was I took the wallpaper off,
Hmm.
and the people who had created this area had just pieced it together. And I
Oh,
wondered when Tom would go out there and smoke when he was smoking, and we
yeah.
would smell the cigarettes. Well, there was nothing there but wallpaper,
Yeah. Gee, many Christmas.
but that's all fixed.
Well, good. Good.
And I had the tile put in the utility room, and my contractor said, well, your water heater has to be 18 inches off the floor. I says, you're joking. He says, no, I'm not joking. So
Yeah.
it's on a stand now.
Yeah, ours is. Yeah, actually, gosh, I think ours is higher than 18 inches. I don't know.
But I
Yeah.
said that eliminates me putting anything up there on
Yeah.
top of the water heater. And
Yeah.
I had to get a ladder so I could dust everything.
Huh.
But it
Well,
turned out nice.
well, good. Um, how close are you to San Antonio?
About 70 miles.
I wondered because what is this? RHS monthly Zoom call join. Well, I'm already joined. Guess I'll ignore that. Hey, Jane, how are you?
Okay, fine. I'm
Re
trying to get gallery view here. There we go.
okay, good. Um,
Hi, Becky.
Hi, Jane. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I was
oh,
telling Tom my kitchen is done and I'm a little tired. Now I got to put everything back together. So
So, you're not going to give us a tour today?
well, you can see it today. You
Oh,
just
oh,
won't see the cupboards inside. That's what I got
oh,
to put back.
oh, yeah. Well, we don't care about that. So, are you happy with it?
Yeah, except for about four little things. But other than that, I'm really happy with it.
Oh, well, that's good. I have a feeling people might be watching the Derby today, so maybe they won't be on.
yeah. Of course, it
Uh,
started now. Didn't it just start at 3 to all the pre-run
right.
stuff?
I've just seen the muddy tracks.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
Okay.
it's still raining.
And no, it doesn't look like it's still raining, but it is a mess.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
Isn't
and
the race about 5 o'clock or thereabouts when they start walking out?
I think it's later than that, but
Okay.
I don't think it runs until about 6:30. But
oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Eastern
but
time.
Eastern.
Yeah.
yeah, Eastern time.
It's only 12
Okay.
o'clock here.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. I'm actually on
Good.
my way to a Kentucky Derby party.
Oh,
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Well,
here
how long are you going to be visiting with us then?
about an hour at the most. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
yeah.
So we just saw Rick. We saw Rick, and now Rick's left. But now, Betsy, are you going to show us your leg?
yeah. I'll show you my new kitchen.
Oh,
Which
well,
one?
that's Becky. Becky. Okay, Becky's going to show us her new kitchen, but then we're going to have Betsy show us her leg.
That's all
Oh,
right.
Betsy, I'm sorry.
No, that's
No,
good.
I'd
This is
rather see
good.
your
No,
kitchen,
no, I
yeah.
had you down for the kitchen, but I
Yeah.
just uh I wanted to embarrass Betsy.
Is
There
that,
it is.
is that Becky's
Man, that
kitchen
looks
there?
really
Wow.
nice. It
I
looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy with it. My
That's
contractor did a
great.
good job.
Of course, we don't know what it looked like before, but it looks
Oh, you
nice
don't want
now.
to know what it looked like before.
Ooh.
A 1974 avocado green stove.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we got it. We
Yeah.
got it.
We've all been there.
Outstanding. Wow.
Okay, Betsy, stick your leg up there. Let's see it.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, Betsy, what'd
Oh,
you
man.
do?
You don't want this thing
Oh.
on you either. You don't want it on you.
is the-
What did you
this-
do?
This is a new one I got yesterday,
Mhm.
so I actually can bend now I can bend my knee a little bit.
45 degrees.
Yeah, 45 degrees.
What
Wow.
did you do?
I'm making
What-
progress.
What'd you
uh,
do?
I tripped.
Oh,
We were on our way to Munich. I tripped,
oh,
hit my knee on the curb. I couldn't walk.
Here in the local airport. the
And well,
smaller-
there. So
yeah.
fortunately,
so you're not in Munich, I take it.
no, that was at 7 weeks ago, and I'm still,
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
You,
but I didn't need surgery, so that it was a fractured kneecap.
Ooh,
I've had that. I've had that.
It's fun, yeah, it's lots of fun. Yeah.
It's lots of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just that,
you
I
can't do anything. Huh.
can't do anything, right? Exactly.
Uh-huh.
I can sort of walk, but now I can bend the knee enough that you can sort of actually do a walking motion. So
And I'm sure Tom is doing all the cooking and
that's
cleaning.
what I was about to say. Jane is
it,
actually,
in between, we actually moved residences. You can imagine with this foot. And,
Oh,
it's not
dear.
even- It was lots of fun.
Yeah. Yes.
How about your
Yeah.
knee, Tommy? Didn't you hurt your knee?
Yeah, I have one more week of physical therapy left, and they've done a great job. I'm almost back to normal. I think I'm
Very
always going to
good.
end up having sore knees occasionally, depending on how much, I use them. But as far as, as Susie will attest, when it first happened, I could barely walk.
ooh,
And that night when we went to the theater and then the dinner afterwards, they almost had to get on either side of me so I could put my arms around their shoulders and kind of carry me out. Because I'm telling you,
Wow.
it was bad, and it wasn't just the pain; it was like my leg wouldn't work,
Mm.
my knee wouldn't work.
Mm.
It had swollen up. It was real. God, it was ridiculous. But anyway, I'm very, very happy with it. So with the physical therapy people, they've just been fabulous. They're just fabulous.
it is.
I missed the last meeting. What happened, Tom?
Heck if I know. When we were going out to a play and dinner on a Saturday night. What was it? A little over a month ago, Susie?
Uh-huh. It was a month ago.
Eh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of is about we left at about 3, so it must have been about 1. UPS or FedEx or both brought a bunch of big boxes full of heavy bird seeds, like 40-pounders. And I
It is.
I was in a hurry, so I got them all out and put them all away and broke down all the boxes, put those in the recycle bin and everything else, and then just got ready and went. And then, no problem in the car, not driving down there, no problem getting into the theater. But
It
as we
is.
sat down in the theater, it was almost like I could look at my left knee and watch it balloon.
Wow.
And man, I could hardly stand up at the intermission. And so I don't know.
I don't know either.
So yeah. But anyway, so I personally think it is Rick, is the MCL on the inside of your knee? Do you know?
It's kind of traverses both sides. So
Okay. Well,
medial collateral ligament. So
yeah. So it was, I think, but I made it through the weekend, went on Monday to orthopedic hospital, but they went to their walk-in clinic. I was able to get in right away. Real good physician's assistant took care of me. They took x-rays. I'm thinking, what's an x-ray going to do if I got either a torn meniscus or some ligament or a tendon or something. But so then I'm repeating all this. A lot of these people have already heard this crap. But anyway, so she brings in the x-rays and she looks at it. She says, now, let me ask you, have your knees been bothering you? No, they have not been bothering me at all. She says, well, your knees are full of arthritis.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So, hey, what the heck?
Part
So
of aging.
now I told her that I was going to refuse to use that word or even blame it on that.
Oh,
So I said, I'm blaming it on football.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
but-
blaming it on football. I'm blaming everything on playing football. So what
but
the heck?
I have a bad knee and it's not from football.
Well, yours is from pickleball.
Well, that probably contributed a little bit, but
Yeah.
It can be from anything, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me,
You don't
Yeah.
even know what you do. And
But mine doesn't look. And then Betsy, here I am walking around, not really feeling sorry for myself, but I'm
Close.
limping around. And first week, man, I was using the cane. And then Betsy sends me this long thing of what happened to her and this picture of her leg. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? And then
Well,
immediately it
wait.
reminds me of my grandpa. I'd be sitting with him talking. And if I started complaining, he says, Tom,
Uh-huh.
just remember, no matter how bad it is, it could always be worse.
Oh, that's good.
There's somebody out there.
That's
Yeah.
right. There's somebody out there. And then I'm thinking of Betsy and I'm thinking, yep.
well, you could
There you
have
go.
surgery, and that's, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Would've
haven't
been
had that,
worse,
but
yeah.
Dwayne
Yeah.
wants to ask you a question, Tom. Dwayne,
Hey,
you-
Dwayne.
Hey,
Where
So
are you?
Dwayne's probably going to bring up one of the items I have on my agenda. Go
Hey,
ahead,
it's
Jim.
Dwayne.
Hi, Dwayne. You looking
Hey,
good,
Dwayne.
how you
buddy.
doing? Hey, did you
sorry.
send me a message about when we're meeting with Jim?
I thought that Dick Bird would do this. Okay, everybody. So we got Dwayne on, we got Sandy on. Oh, and I got to tell Sandy something here in a minute. But anyway, so we some time ago, and I think I'm repeating myself from last time on this also a little bit, but Dick Bird had run into Jim Peters, and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
called and told me. And I had been trying to get in touch with Jim ever since our last reunion. I'd gotten in touch with him right before, but then afterwards I wanted to follow up, find out what happened with his leg, and I could never get him. Anyway, so he reconnected us with Jim, and Dick and I started talking, and he said, I went down to the library and I looked him up in the Pioneer, and this guy was unbelievable. Scoring champion in the state. Then he goes off to Purdue and he's a big deal at Purdue. And he was a year ahead of Lamar Lundy. He's just as big a deal as Lamar Lundy.
No.
And I'm saying, wow, really? I said, well, we ought to get together with him. And then I'm thinking of Dwayne, and Dwayne, always writes these books. I'm thinking, well, Dwayne, why the heck don't you write a book about RHS, the culture of football at Richmond and what happened to it? But anyway, we got all these big stars that came out of Richmond. And so, Dwayne, to answer your question, it's next Saturday.
Okay.
Next Saturday, I'll try to be there by 10 o'clock. I'll meet you at the Friends Fellowship. Dick followed up with Jim, and Jim said, yeah, anytime, be great. So I'm going to expect Dick to let him know that. Now, the problem is that when you want to communicate with Jim, you have to go see him in person because somebody screwed his phone up, and his phone, I don't know if he can call out, but anybody trying to call in, it's blocked.
Maybe
So-
he just didn't know what to do or needs help fixing.
Yeah,
this
so
for-
hopefully we're going to fix his
guessing.
phone when we get
Yeah.
there.
Well, I think his daughter would need to get in touch with him on a regular basis.
You would think, but you can't call him. So,
Okay.
but when I'm there next Saturday, I'm going to make sure I'll figure it out how I can call him.
Okay, now you said it's 10 o'clock?
Well, I'm going to try to be there around 10.
Okay.
Let me say this. I'll be there between 10 and 10:30 because you
Okay.
never know about the construction
Right,
going over
right.
there.
Now, are we meeting at
Yeah.
his house or there in the main building and then go to his house?
You got me. I'm going to leave this up to Dick Bird to
Dick,
figure all
okay.
this out for
I'll,
us.
I'll communicate with him.
Yeah, communicate with him and let me know, will you?
Right, right.
Probably go
Yeah.
out and see
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah. And so the other funny
We
thing
are
was,
going,
and I
must be.
can't remember if it was Dick or so I've got another deal here. Rick Putoff. I need to bring you guys up to date on Rick as well. It was either
Okay.
right after we're getting this stuff set up, Rick Putoff happened to call me. And he calls every once in a while because he starts feeling guilty that he hadn't been on the call and all this stuff. I said, that's no problem. And he says, I thought I better tell you too. He says, next week I'm going in for another heart procedure.
Oh, no.
I said, oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
man, what? He says, hey, he says, I'm okay. I'm fine. He says, what's going on here? He says, I was always out of breath. And that
Mm.
every time he said I might walk 10 yards and I'd have to sit down. I'd just be all out of breath and real tired all the time.
Hey.
Turns out he needed he says aortic. And here you go, Rick, again. I don't know how many, I don't know how many different valves there are in your heart, but anyway,
There are 4
he
valves.
he said the aortic valve. Is that right?
I mean, there is an aortic
Is
valve.
one.
You
Well,
should
then
have
that's-
one.
then- Then that's it. That's it. And he said it's an aortic valve, and he were replacing it with a cow valve.
They used to do pigs, but not
I know.
cows.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, a cow valve. They told him that it should last him 15 years. And by that time, when he's 95, if he needed to get it replaced, that probably before that time, it'll probably be like Star Trek, where all they'll do is Scotty, the doc will just wave the magic wand over him and he'll be,
Cured.
well. Of course, I saw some guy on CBS Sunday Morning about AI a week ago, and he says he thinks AI within 10 years there will be no more disease. So
Wow.
anyway,
well, that's a little.
so
Yeah.
Rick Putoff
I
had a
don't think-
procedure done. Yeah, right.
A lot
Rick
of people.
Putoff had that procedure done on Wednesday. I called him on Tuesday. May 1st, Wednesday. Had it done on May 1st, and he called me on Friday. He called me yesterday, I think it was. And Jane Ann and I were both able to talk to him. And he said, I'm feeling great. I think they told me that everything went super well. And I hope to be out of here by 4:00 today.
So he's
So I wanted
he's already had the procedure.
He had it done this
Okay.
past Wednesday, I think it was. So everything's
That's
good. And so anyway, now the story back on you, Sandy. So it's either it's Dick Bird or Rick Jordan. I was talking about, we were talking about athletes, and I said, well, you do realize it. Not only was Dwayne a good athlete, but Sandy was a hell of an athlete. And he says, what are you talking about? I said, well, yeah. I said, don't you remember she was a cheerleader, man? She could do all these backflips, all this stuff. and he says, oh man, he says, I never thought about, I always thought of her as just being this little petite thing, kind of this little, I guess he thought you were just some little weakling girl or something.
Yeah.
I
Are you
don't
buying
know.
that? Sandy?
But I just want you to know, Sandy, that I always thought of you as a jock.
Oh, well, good.
And I was always very impressed.
Did she
And very
really,
impressed.
Jeff?
Well, just ask Jim Peters when you see him
Okay.
about my catching ability. I was the catcher on his team.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody brought, yes. Yeah.
And he
So
said I was
anyway.
the best little catcher he's ever had.
Well,
That's okay.
Okay.
I was short,
I've
so I
always-
could get close to the ground.
I've always
Didn't-
thought that the cheerleading squad was the hardest athletic squad to make in high school because you not only had to be really coordinated, you had to have really great grades, and you also had to be beautiful. So
Wow. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, that's kind of you.
Unlike all of the
True.
guys where it didn't matter if they were ugly.
No.
So, by the way, I have a question to ask. Is anybody in touch with Dick Brandenburg?
Just by way
Uh,
of Facebook, I see him on Facebook.
Bird is Tommy.
Well, the funniest thing is I don't know how I get this, but it's happened before. Every year on his birthday, if it's correct, the thing popped up yesterday saying it was Dick Brandenburg's birthday.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So anyway, so I just thought I'd throw that out there, you guys.
Yeah. Branding.
And then I've got a sad thing to tell you about, and then I'll turn it over to everybody. Quit hogging I got a message this morning from Elaine Norton, and I don't know how many of you, or if any of you, other than Jimmy Hoke, Jimmy would know, Marianne Nufrio.
Yes, yes.
Okay, you know, okay, so she
Yes.
said,
New
I
for you.
wanted you to know that Marianne is not doing very well. She has stage 4 cancer
Oh,
and has been fighting it for a while now. I think they live in Kentucky. Her husband has been caring for her. He told me when he took her to the doctor that the doctor wanted her admitted to the hospital because she has not been eating and is dehydrated. She also has water on the brain. My last conversation with her a couple of weeks ago was the best conversation we have had in quite a while. She said to tell you and everyone hello. She did seem to understand more than she had before when I was talking with her. Not sure if I will be on Zoom today, but she's going out of town. But I will. Okay, there you go. So I wanted to let you know about Marianne. So
who-
that's
I'm
sad.
sorry, I missed. Who was she talking to?
Marianne Nufrio, and I don't
remember
know.
Who
Yeah,
was
I
talking
remember
to
her. She was so nice.
Elaine.
Yeah,
Elaine.
all
Elaine
those Catholic
Norton.
kids. Yeah,
Oh, Elaine. Okay, I'm sorry. I
the
came in
Catholic kids
late.
that went to St. Mary's would know
Yes.
Marianne.
Mhm.
Very nice.
But yeah.
Nufrio.
So, well, okay. Now I guess, there is one more thing. I can't let this go. I think it was the last call. And I may have mentioned it at the time when it happened, but I got this message that said that Tom Pearson was trying to get on
Yeah.
and he was unsuccessful. And I didn't see it until after the fact, until the call was almost over. So I was wondering, Jane, does anybody stay in touch with Tom? I mean,
Occasionally see
bad.
him on Facebook, but that's it.
Oh,
so
Elaine
nobody
Norton
knows.
does.
Okay, I'll have to ask you. Okay, that
Yeah.
good point. You're right. I'll
Yeah.
ask Elaine. Ask Elaine. Okay. Yeah, we need to follow up. And then there've been some other folks, like David Harrell. We haven't seen him for a while. I just need, I guess, follow up with a few people just to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, I wondered about David because Dave, because I get messages from him that are on Facebook, and I always read them, and I always, say something. But I was going to ask him, why haven't you been on? And I just haven't.
Well, do that, will you?
Okay.
See,
I will.
we're not
Yeah.
on Facebook, so we probably miss out on a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, if you see any of our classmates that would be on, and then we haven't seen him for a while, yeah, I'd say, hey, I'm missing you.
Okay, I will tell him that because I
Yeah.
get 2 or 3 Facebook things that he's saying, not personal, but I mean just general.
Okay. I can't let it go here. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Jimmy's last playlist, again, it kind of knocked me out.
Oh, Jimmy, it was awesome.
It
awesome.
was exactly what I needed that day.
The thing of it is, I loved it that you got the thing that you got on the Eagles, that it was way back when they were young. Man, I couldn't get over how young those guys were then. And writing all this fabulous music and singing that music and performing that. Oh man, it was just, yeah.
Now, you didn't answer my spend a lot question. of time on that.
I sent you a question about Lewis versus Frankie. Like
Yeah.
that very last song. What's the last name?
You wanted to know what the difference was between Frankie Lyman and the teenagers and Lewis Lyman and the students.
Yes, because that song sounded just like what I remember Frankie Lyman sounded like.
Yeah, I think they were maybe related and they were cousins, maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll look it up though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But Jimmy and I, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy didn't we have both of those records?
Yeah.
Because I remember Lewis Lyman and the Students. I remember that song.
I
We
remember
had that
Frankie
45
Lyman.
sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
And
yeah, I just wanted to
play-
throw that out there.
Any playlist you start out with Nina Simone, it's like, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah,
for the
I knew
timing.
Susie was going to like it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we all did.
It's
Yeah,
perfect
It
for
was,
the
it was
timing.
exceptional, I thought. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Becky. Becky, have you seen those two Beatle?
She wants her car
Versions?
on Dwayne.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
I,
confirm with him this week. Tell him that. All right, come on.
yeah, I saw
Um,
it. I meant to send you a note, Jim, and haven't gotten
Okay.
around. But no, I definitely, because you had sort of said that I might like something on there, and I figured that's what it was, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I've
They
never
both-
seen those
The one thing
two.
I was going to say is, John Lennon's Imagine, it both uplifts me and makes me sad, but both,
Yeah.
for both
Right.
directions, Anyway,
Mhm.
it's amazing, really.
Yeah, and I
it
love
is.
that. I love that
I
picture.
love that song.
Yeah, I love that picture of him.
Did you see
That
the
was-
Ringo Starr at, I think, Renfro Valley or something about a month ago on TV?
No,
No.
was that good?
Yeah, it was really good. didn't realize that, he played that much country music, and some of the songs he sang, some of them he played the drums, and there were a lot of different people on there. It was really good.
Huh? Shoot, missed that. Well, how many of you knew that Steve Martin played the banjo?
Not me.
I
Yeah.
did. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did
For
you?
sure.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play the banjo. That's one
Yeah.
instrument I thought I'd love to learn how to play. I can play the a little bit, ukulele a little bit,
Yeah.
but
It's never too late, Sandy.
What kind
I
of
think
a
the banjo is kind of hard. I don't know.
what kind of a snide remark did Dwayne just make?
Oh, nothing important.
Okay.
He said he would get it. He said he played the clarinet.
Really?
He said how many people played the clarinet. But
Okay.
anyway,
Well, speaking of
Um,
clarinet, I'm sorry, please. Sam,
well,
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to. Dwayne said he'll get in touch with you, Tom, this week.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Rick, if you want to fly out here, man, it'll be fun getting together with Jimmy. Good old Jim Peters.
That's a good
Probably
point.
can't do it.
I'm just
I've
teasing
actually
you.
got
man.
a bit of a medical problem myself that I
Oh,
don't want
no.
to stray too far from home here.
Well,
Oh,
are you going to invoke HIPAA or are you going to tell us what it is?
It's atrial fibrillation.
oh yeah.
Oh no!
Or AFib.
I mean, oh no, but yes, I know what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh no. Well,
It's intermittent, and but I'm going to have to go to Austin to have a procedure to sort of ablate some
Oh,
of
an
the
ablation?
tissue
yeah,
around my
yeah, I heard
aorta.
that too. Hmm.
And my cardiologist says it's got about a 90% chance of being successful. So I hope his math is good.
yeah,
I do
really.
too. I do too. And I think Vicky had something with paddles. Is that what it is? It's
Carol Fleming had
Ablation?
that issue
Real
too.
fluid.
a lot of people have it.
I didn't
more
quite
than
hear.
you
What-
think. Vicky Roller Graflin has
Yeah.
it, and she had something with paddles. They went in and did something. I don't know, trying to
Well,
get it.
Carol Fleming has that, and if they can't get it back in rhythm, they have to use the paddles to get it back.
That was it then. So
But she's
Pacemaker
on
also
medication.
helps to shock that.
Yeah.
It's an
Right.
electrical shock to the heart. And when people have cardiac arrest, that's also done, but at a different voltage.
Jeez.
But I only have it very intermittently. The worst thing about atrial fibrillation is that you've got 4 chambers to your heart. You got the 2 atria, the right and left above, and then you got the ventricles that pump blood to the lungs, and then the left ventricle pumps it to the body. Is that in the atrium, if it's fibrillating, you can form a clot. And then that clot can drift down to your ventricle, and it can go to your brain and cause a stroke. So I'm anticoagulated right now, and my cardiologist thinks I've got a great chance of, again, having the focus ablated, and I'll be in good shape. So
When is this procedure going to be done, Rick? When's it going to happen?
well, I don't know, but probably sometime early June.
Guys, you're going to wait a month?
They're
Well,
so busy.
I'm
I
not-
guess.
I mean, that's
June will
when
be
they've
here
got
before we
an
know
opening
it.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and my wife's got to take off, and she's going to have to be there to hold my hand.
Well,
That's
do you
good.
think it'll be before our next call, June 7th?
I don't know. It's going to be in early June sometime.
Okay, well, keep me or so I can keep everybody informed as to how it's going.
Well, I mean, I'm in normal sinus rhythm now, so I've got,
Okay.
and I don't have to stop exercising. I don't really need to do really anything. And I was surprised that the super specialist said, too much alcohol is a problem, but don't worry about coffee. It's been shown that caffeine really isn't an issue for atrial fibrillation.
Wow.
So
Rick, could you feel it going out of rhythm? Some people
most
say,
of the time, no. But
Yeah.
that's what first caused me to go to the chair of family medicine, who's my family doctor here in Texas. But no, most of them are asymptomatic. And I had one episode where they monitored me for 24 hours. And I had a 9-hour episode of atrial fibrillation, and I did not know it.
oh, wow.
And what's the last thing you said? And like seeing.
But any
You know-
other symptoms? I mean, how would you know if you had it or if you didn't have it or?
The few that were symptomatic, I'm often checking my pulse. And it's just a habit. I usually check it in my neck. And I didn't feel quite right. And so I thought I felt a few extra beats, and there I was going 160. But it only lasted a couple of hours. And well, maybe it was just atrial tachycardia. And so then it happened a couple of more times. And then probably the smartest doctor in the universe, Dr. Steve Urban, who's one of my colleagues here, said, you got to get that checked. So if Steve says something, I listen.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, docs always they're the last to decide that they'll take care of themselves. So it's good that another doctor told you better get that checked out.
Yeah.
That where the way you described that, where it can, have a clot and then eventually cause a stroke. That is what happened to Vicky Roller.
Mm.
Did she have atrial fibrillation?
Right.
Yes, and then it caused her to have a stroke.
Right.
Yeah.
And she still is having some trouble getting it back. I mean, I think she's okay now, but she's had problems getting it back in rhythm.
And they didn't put you, Rick, on any medicine, because what's that one kind of medicine that seems like everybody takes for that AFib?
Warfarin.
Well, no, I take Eliquis.
Eliquis.
That's a much
Eliquis.
better
Yeah,
anticoagulant.
Eliquis.
Yeah.
That's the other one.
Yeah.
But they put medications, amiodarone and metoprolol. Those slow the heart down. But I've got a very slow heart rate anyway. It's always less than 60.
Oh, under 60.
Exercising
Wow.
and everything. Well, exercise, that really helps.
Yeah, that's what I attribute it to. And when it goes a lot faster than that, I generally note it. But I had a 9-hour episode during monitoring that I had no clue. So I check my pulse about at least every hour.
Huh.
But do you have a smartwatch?
Yeah, smartwatch, yeah.
No, you're talking about the Apple 10, and my cardiologist wants me to get one. There are about 1 billion versions of the 10, and I'm not quite sure which one to get, but yeah, we're going to get one.
Oh, you bet. Now, listen, if your doctor told you to get it, you better get it.
Better.
Most of us already have it, buddy.
Yeah, most of us already
Yes,
have
everybody
it.
put their wrist up.
What model do you have?
Oh, heck, if I know, all I know is it does monitor
Well,
my heart
and-
rate and all that stuff.
Got a
And when you
Garmin.
live, when you live by yourself, if you fall, it immediately says, it looks like you've fallen. Do you need help? And if you don't reply, they call 911.
Uh-huh.
That's what Dwayne has because
Yeah.
he's fallen several times.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
And he
afraid I'll
didn't
fall
have one,
asleep
but
and not wake
now
up and
he
all of a
has
sudden
one.
911, the ER will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't have one, but I probably should get one too.
no, everybody should have one.
I know, but
I
I
just
never know what to
recently-
get. I mean,
Go
it's
into
hard
the
to
Apple
know.
store, they'll tell you.
My cardiologist
yeah,
says
well.
any version of 10
Any
would
version
be
of
fine.
10. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just gonna say, there's any version of 10 would be good, yes. So
As
I
long as
think
I
it's
do have my
easy,
version
as
of-
long as it's easy to figure out, because I have spent hours working on my iPhone. It some way locked me out, and I mean hours. And I went to the place for them to help me, Xfinity or someplace, and they said, "Well, you're locked out. It'll have to be a factory reset, and good luck on that because it'll take forever to do that." And but I just kept sending, or sending messages, and I even said, "I'm an 80-year-old woman, and I have to have this watch. You've got to unlock me." And by gosh, the next day I was in.
He faked them out.
Maybe somebody read
Yeah,
it.
she's an 80-year-old woman, but she really is only about 55.
Yeah. Oh, that
Do they
sounds
make
old.
one that's small enough for the wrist? I mean,
No.
I've got such a
Now
small
that
wrist.
I don't know because I couldn't wear a
no,
I
they
had
do.
tennis elbow
They
and
do?
they couldn't make
Okay.
one small enough, or they didn't have anyone
The face
small enough
isn't
to fit
They,
me.
smaller,
they
but,
are small enough
Right,
because my
Tom.
cardiologist had one and he showed me
Oh, good.
on his
good.
wrist. So
Mhm.
I have a like a band that, you
Yeah,
can
but
just,
Oh, you
That's
What
can
about
just-
the face?
yes.
oh, the
It
face
has
is
little
not,
holes in it.
The face is not
bad.
smaller.
Yeah.
it's not really bad. It's not
Okay.
bad.
my cardiologist says any version of Apple 10 is fine. And he said, you absolutely don't need the $750 one.
Oh, that's good.
Well, don't say that too loudly because Dwayne will want me to get a $50 one.
Well, I don't think.
No, it's just, no, tell Wayne
It
who he
has to
said
be
it.
Apple.
You have to get the $750 one, Sandy.
Yeah.
I'll tell
You tell
him
him, yeah,
that. Then if it's
you
better
gotta
than
get
that, then okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Mother's Day is coming up. But
Yeah,
Mother's
there
Day-
you go.
but-
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Good idea, Karen.
By the way, I did want to mention that it was a year ago today that Judy passed.
Oh,
Oh, today?
Yeah,
today.
And the reason I remember that date was also my mother's birthday. So, I'll always remember that. May
Mm.
3rd.
Doesn't seem like
Wow.
it's been that long, does it?
Mm.
In some ways it doesn't. In some ways it seems forever.
Yeah.
Since I could talk to her. I do have a voice message I saved. So,
Wow.
but yeah.
And her in memoriam appeared just 3 or 4 days ago in
Oh.
the DePaul magazine.
Oh,
And I'll
did it?
try to get a copy of that and send it
Oh.
to you. But I was disappointed that they didn't have all the things that you and I and her kids added to that. So,
Well, they tend to typically just print what they want to.
yeah.
I just put a thing in my sorority newspaper about 7 of us went to Charleston to celebrate our 80th birthdays and, who we were and all that. And they had one little sentence and didn't have a picture or mention our names or anything. So
Weird. That's
Yeah.
weird.
yeah.
Huh.
So,
Huh.
And I saw my roommate. I saw her about 15 years ago. We met in Indianapolis. And so just last Monday, we met again. And she said, well, what happened to you? And I said, well, I am 80, And she said, no, I mean, you're so short. Because
Oh,
we
get
looked
outta
up, another picture and I was a head taller than she.
oh my God.
And now, and
Lord.
a head taller, and now we're the same height.
Wow.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She said, I wouldn't have believed that, but that's what happened or can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost 3 inches. So-
See,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
It's what it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Hmm.
I
like
sure
So-
love
that
seeing
wasn't
her
happening.
anyway. It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, Jean,
Yes.
what's happening in Richmond?
A lot of rain.
A lot of rain.
Yeah.
Well,
not a
that's
whole lot
today,
that I
but
can-
it's been on and off. I mean,
Yeah.
rain and
not a whole lot
Oh.
that I can think of. We've just people complaining about the same things, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm going to be spending some time. I'm going over to see Jim, and then I'm going to go over for Paul Flatley's funeral, and then I'm going to go over for my brother's funeral.
oh,
So I'm going to be spending some time in Richmond.
I know there was a terrible accident on 70 from between Richmond and Indianapolis. I saw that on Facebook. Where the
we
road
have,
Mm.
yeah, there's a lot
closed.
of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
70 is
a
not
lot.
great.
That wasn't that big fire,
Well-
was it? Where 7 people were killed? I'm not sure where that was,
Ooh.
but it was on national news last night.
Oh,
I
guess
don't think
I
that.
didn't
didn't
see
hear
that.
that.
That wasn't
I
that
don't know.
local.
I mean, there was a house a couple of weeks ago. There were 5 people in it, but they all got out. A couple of them got burnt pretty. A couple of them got people that helped. One helped, and one that lived there got burnt. But they got the children out and stuff. We just had a young firefighter. They had his service and memorial thing last night out at the what used to be the Raper Center. It's now the First Bank, I think, not the Coolman, but the other one. He was 40 some years old and had just come back from a volunteer fireman fighting a fire, and
Oh,
they assume had a heart attack.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I did hear about that. Oh my goodness.
Man, that's
Terrible.
yeah, young. So, okay. So, Tom and Betsy, what's happening out in California?
It's nice weather.
Well, how nice is it? Because it's not that nice here today.
It's been in the 70s, goes up 70s and then down to the mid 40s. You know, it's real nice.
At
It's
night, you mean.
At night, so makes it warm in the day and it cools off at night. So that's nice.
Low humidity.
Yeah, low humidity.
Oh,
That
low
makes a
humidity.
Healing
huge
going,
difference.
Betsy? How's your healing going, Betsy?
Yeah.
I can it's starting to bend it now. I'm allowed to start to bend it now.
So
mhm.
did you
So-
tear your quad at all?
I'm sorry.
Did you tear your quad
No,
tendon?
very quiet.
No, I
Just-
didn't tear anything, just fractured the kneecap and
Okay.
it didn't need surgery, and then the x-rays show it's healing.
Oh, good.
So that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that's why I'm allowed to bend it now a little bit.
But we
So-
got some,
But yeah,
sorry,
we're trying to get enough flexibility because we're about to go to Florida and spend some time with Michael and Santini and his wife Joanne and go on a 3-day
I thought it was
cruise with
4.
them. 4 days, 3 days. I
They're
don't
big cruisers. They
one
got
of they
stuff all-
love that stuff. So
Mhm,
we
mhm.
anyway, I guess it's one of these gigantic ships, which is not necessarily my favorite, but they like to do this. We thought it'd be fun just to do something together.
Oh, sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
But
it's going to take I might be slower walking from one end. It's like what 5 football fields long.
That's crazy.
Kind
only 5,000
Gee.
people on it.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
God.
Wow.
Oh, my
God.
That's
goodness.
a big.
Wow.
So
Wow.
anyway,
Well-
so I got the wheelchair assistance at the 2 airports and
You splurged on a
the-
first class
I
ticket
splurged on a ticket, so we're in the first row, so I have some room for
for your leg to straighten out.
anyway.
When's that?
So,
Oh, I'm sorry. When are they
Go
doing
ahead.
that? When are you doing that, Betsy and
We
Tom?
leave this coming Thursday, and the cruise itself is that following Monday to Friday.
Gotcha.
So it's the 8th. We leave on the 8th, and we get back on the 16th. Back here in
Hmm.
Galesburg on the 16th, and a week later that's why we had to get this in place. A week later we go to Munich.
okay,
we
I was
aren't-
wondering. Okay.
Yeah, we aren't back here until the middle of July, so.
Wow.
Wow.
so-
How long do you have to wear that brace?
Well, I don't know. So in 3 weeks, I go back and have it adjusted again, but I know I'm gonna have to take it with
Oh,
me. to
yes.
Munich,
Oh, yeah.
sure. So,
Mhm.
yeah, anyway, no, not
Mm.
fun, but we did, Diane set us up with a Portugal tour on Talc, so we're gonna go do that for a week while we're take a break from Munich and go over to Portugal, which we've never been to Portugal.
Oh, that I'm going to be interested to hear about
Yeah,
that.
sounds great.
Yeah.
Well,
That's cool.
Diane's husband, Bob's sister recently passed away, so that's where she is right now in Philadelphia.
Oh, I was.
So
Oh
that's
my gosh.
why
Was
she's
she
not on.
was she
She'd been-
younger?
No, well, Bob is going to be, I think, 87 next month.
Jeez.
Wow.
So she was well in her 80s, but she'd been fighting lung cancer for
Oh,
Ooh.
4 or 5 years, I think.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So it wasn't unexpected.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so,
Okay, Jimmy, what's happening in Hawaii? Because you're about to leave, aren't you?
Yeah,
still there. Okay.
Tuesday.
oh,
Yeah, it's turning warmer every day.
There's big
And-
volcano eruptions right now too, right?
Yeah, so we have what they call VOG, which is from the volcano.
Oh.
Sulfurous sort of haze that comes across.
Mm.
And so yeah, it's getting into summer. And summer here is the sun gets really intense and there's very little air movement.
Hmm.
And at certain points of the summer, the sun is directly over your head, so there's no shadows.
oh my God.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow. Oh,
And so that's a good time to be somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. So we're taking our cat Hoku back with us, and so he'll get to mouse the house when we get back to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we've been gone long enough that the mice start to move in,
Oh, dear.
D-mouse
Yeah.
house.
and so he'll be busy for the first week or so.
Less hungry.
And
A
then
mouse in the
I just
house.
noticed that, and I don't know how this went over nationally, but it's American Pacific Asian Heritage Month,
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
according to
guessing,
Google. According to Google.
I'm guessing it didn't go over so big, yeah.
Yeah, right. So
it wasn't on the
So-
calendar.
So yeah, it's not on anybody's calendar. So what we just got done with here is Merry Monarch. And I don't know if any of you know what Merry Monarch is, but it's the hula dancing competition that goes on in late March, or no,
Oh,
in late April.
Hmm.
And takes place in Hilo. And I'll probably do something on my playlist coming up.
Okay.
okay, okay.
But it's quite the spectacle because all the islands have their own hula heiaus, not heiaus, wait a minute. Anyway, there's a terminology for it, which I can't remember now. And plus this year they had groups from Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, Japan, also from of course this one they had a Maori group from New
Okay.
Zealand,
Okay.
which of course, basically the difference between Hawaii and New Zealand as far as the indigenous cultures is pretty dramatic. The Maori were more
Yeah.
warlike.
Mm-hmm.
And Hawaiians were, more laid back.
Yeah.
So explorers came. The explorers got different welcomes from the Maori versus the Hawaiians.
Yeah.
And the Maori basically, I think the first boat of explorers that went towards the towards New Zealand, they basically killed one. And but here they were more,
Ooh.
here in the Cook, on the southern part of the Big Island is where the Cook Inlet is. And that's where he came in and anchored. And he was welcomed with open arms and, the whole thing. The Maori took Cook's, crew to task when they landed in New Zealand. So, but you see that in the different cultural dances.
Ah.
There are hula groups of men. They call it's the Kane hula, and they're more, I guess, masculine sorts of dancing versus the women.
Yeah.
And if you've seen any Maori hakas, like they're known like they're what is it? Oh, they're rugby team.
Rugby. Yeah. God.
Yeah. They start all their matches with a big haka.
Oh, I think I have seen that. Yes.
It looks a little scary.
Yeah, they're basically trying to scare the competition.
The opponent,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, so we're leaving now and going back to probably temperatures in the 70s, but colder at night.
Yeah.
I like here right now.
Yeah, pretty much. But we're going
Yeah,
back
we
to
do.
longer day. Basically, the days here are pretty routine, or it's pretty standard through the year, because we're not on daylight savings time at all. So that never changes. And where the sun is changes as the year goes longer here on Maui. The sun goes towards the West Maui Mountains, and the sunrises or sunsets are earlier, but later still. But we can't really see them because they're behind the West Maui Mountains.
Oh, okay.
So earlier in the summer, they're on the south side of the mountain. So anyway, those famous Hawaiian sunsets you always see.
You can't see.
You can't see them anymore.
How are they doing with the rebuilding?
They are, well, I've got my daughter-in-law here, not daughter-in-law, sister-in-law.
Daughter,
she sells tiny homes. And there's a tiny home business going now.
Oh.
Yeah.
To help house, the people that were unhoused by the fire. And there's still, areas of the village or the island that have housing for the Lahaina victims. Tiny houses is becoming popular. And because I guess FEMA came in, did some stuff, but now with the FEMA probably being gutted or whatever, that probably won't last, but the tiny homes might. And they basically got most of Lahaina cleaned up as far as the toxic materials. And so people are trying to, put in housing again, but then they're having conflicts over what they do with Front Street. Front Street's right on the ocean. the part of Lahaina that everybody remembers if they've ever been here before the fire.
Yeah.
And they're fighting over, do they allow any building on Front Street again between the road and the ocean?
Ah.
So, yeah, so there's battles between the native Hawaiians and I guess the rest of, the crowd that came with the British. And so we'll see where that goes. It's going to be I mean, it'll be decades.
Wow.
It's been so painfully slow. So anyway,
Okay.
so that's the news from Hawaii.
Okay. Karen, before you leave, because you only got about 8 minutes.
Thank you.
So how are things going for Tom?
About the same.
Okay.
Just up and down, up and down. Yeah, he's having a good day today. Last week he wouldn't take a shower for me even. He fights the staff. So getting him a shower, and he's very aggressive still. But I think so it's just not easy, but every day that's good. Great.
Yeah.
So today's a good, this morning was a good morning. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but I never know what I'm walking into. But we've got hospice with him, so they're having more eyes on him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is helpful. Yeah. So
yes, definitely.
Thank you for asking. Yes.
Yeah. No. We're always sending you positive vibes, sending him.
Yeah. We're doing good though. Really. I mean, he doesn't know me sometimes. He actually is hallucinating quite a bit. He sees things that aren't there.
Is it for medication or just?
It could be. There was a medication he took way back when, Liposol or something like that. Rick might know the real word. And he was seeing horses dancing on the walls, and we took him off of that.
Yes, that's good.
He's marked as allergic to that one, but he's not taking that now. But his other medicine could be doing that, but it still could be the dementia. Yeah.
Damn. So, have you every year gone to a party for the
Kentucky Derby?
Derby party.
Oh yes, today's the day.
This is my new place, has all these parties. They have one. And it's a big deal. I walked in and there's this horse. Now that's not a real horse, but it turns out when I walked into the clubhouse, there's this paper horse, this standard size, sitting in, and they have rose petals on the floor. They have all the tables covered in red cloth. Great big sign, Kentucky Derby. I wish I could show it to you. I don't know, maybe I actually could. It's not a big deal here, but I took a picture of it on my phone. I'm trying to hold up two things, guys. Sorry about that.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah,
that's
all right. But it's really well decorated. But another thing I've attended, it's called Poor Decisions. And
okay, Poor Decisions.
Do you know what that used to be? It used to be their whiskey club. And so, they don't do the whiskey now so much, but they always have an alcoholic beverage and acts. It's really fun. Yeah. And then we did storytelling, and I told them I'd written a story about Red Cross days when Tom and I volunteered for the Red Cross for about 3 years. So I'd written a story about that. So I just read that story for the storytelling night and all. So it's been fun. There's been a lot of
people.
I am. Lots of names to remember. Yeah.
Oh, that's great, Karen.
Yeah. So that's great for me. I'm loving it.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm probably, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, don't let us keep you from going to have some fun.
Well, it starts at 5, but they've told me, as true for most older citizens, it starts at 4:30. The tables will be full, and it's raining, so parking will be more limited. So I'm thinking, I'll just go on over a little early.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's
You
good to
know,
see all of you. Yeah.
okay, same here. You're looking good. Like your red glasses.
Yes.
Well, I've got
Yeah.
some red in my shirt or dress here, so thank
Yeah.
you.
All
Well, have fun.
righty.
Fun.
Next week.
Okay,
Bye.
see you next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I always forget to even ask when Susie's on because Jane Ann and I and Susie do stuff so often. So I kind of always know. Susie, bring everybody up to date on what's happening with you.
Nothing.
Tell them, oh,
that's
don't
not
give me that.
true.
Tell them about your car. Tell them about your car. Tell them about the kitty cat because that's an hilarious story.
God, he's just he's really
Tell 'em
quiet
about Pete.
now. He's really quiet now. Yes. When I had him neutered, I took him out of the cage when we came back and I noticed that his pupils covered his entire eye. And I thought, oh, what have they given him? He came out of there and for probably 2.5 hours, he was hanging off of this lampshade over
Oh,
here.
gosh.
He tried to climb up a bookcase over here. I mean, he was running around, never stopped. It was crazy. And then the next day he was fine. But yeah, I don't know what they gave him. I don't
Maybe
know.
they should not give him that again.
Yeah.
Whatever they
Well,
gave him.
well, they
Because
did say
sometimes
that
it reacts differently.
they did say that the drugs that they used are sometimes not great for Maine Coon cats, which he is a Maine Coon, and
Take it easy now.
yeah,
Girl.
they had to intubate him so that he could breathe during the procedure. But yeah, he was a little hoarse for a couple of days, but whatever.
Wow.
And so did you get a new car?
No, I didn't get a new car, but I scratched my car.
Oh,
Tom and
because
Jane Ann and I, not this last time, but the time before we went to the play, we ate
The
at
play
the
where
Sky-
my knee fell apart.
okay.
the play where your knee fell apart. We went to the Skyline Club to eat dinner after, and I cut when we were coming out of the parking garage. I cut it a little bit too close, and I put a little scrape on my car for the yeah. I heard something go, and I was like, oh no.
Did do anything to the other car or?
No, it wasn't another car. It was a thing on the just what was it, Tom? What would you say?
Kind of like some kind of a barrier
Oh my God.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Kind of where you make a turn.
Yeah, where you make a
Yeah.
turn
Oh
to come
boy,
out.
that's not a good sound.
It wasn't.
We've all done that.
Yep, we have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, Harvey, you came on late.
Yep.
How things going?
Oh, pretty good. We just got back from this river cruise, I think I mentioned last time. So
yeah. So tell us about it.
Well, we got back real late Thursday night, so still kind of getting acclimated. And nice trip on the Rhone River, mainly in France, and real pretty. Diane helped put it together for us, and it was a nice trip. So just getting back into things, it's not always that easy getting acclimated again and getting your sleep pattern right. But
yeah,
nice couple of weeks to be away, and always good to come home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So any particular things that were really spectacular that would really stood out for you?
I think going through some of the wine country there, it's so beautiful. And there's more land than I guess I ever remembered being, you're going through some of these hills and vineyards, and it's just really pretty. When we were off the boat on the bus, kind of, daily excursion, you go out to a winery or something, and it's just really pretty country. And, it's the architecture and stuff like that from hundreds of years ago. And
weather was okay.
We lucked out with that. It started out with a little bit of rain down in Cannes, but great. It's a good trip. And
did you say you started in? Did you start it in the south of France, down around the Côte d'Azur?
Yeah, we did, and we went to the little town that Jane Ann had talked about last time.
Oh, how did that go?
Did
you enjoy it?
Yeah, you're wandering through these little streets and gorgeous homes and just some flowers and one of those picturesque small French kind of towns and Riviera. So gorgeous, and
Did you
Yeah.
get over to Monaco?
We did not. It was kind of one or the other on that day.
Okay,
So
good. I'm
we'll-
glad you went to the little town.
So we went to that
Yep.
that place, and really on Jane Ann's recommendation, it was the right thing. So we had really nice day there. Just overall good couple of weeks. Nice to have people kind of waiting on you.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
You eat too much, and
How was the food?
it was good. It was on this Talk was the travel line, and had not been on their riverboat thing before. It was very good, and we had a couple of meals out of the boat. One in Geneva, and we ended in Geneva and flew home from Geneva.
Okay.
And, Geneva is really pretty. I've never been there before on the
Yeah.
lake, right? And walking around, and just very, very beautiful town. So it's all
Yeah.
good. Time to rest up and go back or go to another one.
Did you stay in a hotel in Geneva before you flew back?
Yeah, we did. We were in Intercontinental, which really wasn't that great, because it was maybe 2 miles outside of downtown. So he took they had shuttles and things, but the hotel was a little, in a way, even though it was expensive, a little funky. So, but the town itself was really nice, and had some nice things to walk around and look at.
The lake is cool.
Took a boat ride over to this Yvoire, Yvoire, I guess, in back across the French border. Gorgeous little town, hundreds of years old.
Mhm.
So it's just pretty things to see, no doubt about it.
So you would highly recommend this trip?
I liked it a lot. Yeah, it was nice. I think Diane's big on Talk, TAUCK, and they take care of you pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a couple of river trips. These guys were a little more expensive than the others, but you get more.
Yeah.
So you really, okay.
And they treat you really, everybody's nice. We had some nice people on the ship. There were about less than 90 passengers.
Oh, cool. That's great.
So we met some nice people. 2 other couples that we had most of our dinners with on the ship. And
were they from the U.S. or were they from somewhere else?
90%. There were a couple of Canadians, but I think everybody else were from the U.S.
Oh, no kidding.
There were a big group from South Carolina that stuck together, maybe 8 or 10 of them, and the 2 couples that we spent time with, one was from Denver, one was from Fort Worth. The guy from Denver is a funny guy, and he had been in the insurance business, so he knew some people that I knew.
Oh, that's cool.
He knew some people in Denver that had worked for our company and stuff. So he was kind of a neat old guy. He told a couple of stories. In one case, somehow we got talking. They went to the wrong wedding one time. Because they came to the Napa Valley, and we're talking about California. Came to the Napa Valley, and so they got up. They were supposed to get on the bus and go to the venue, and they got on the bus and went to the venue, but they just noticed there were mostly Asians on the bus, and all the way out to this place. They found out it was the wrong wedding, and so by the time they got back to the main place and get to the main wedding, to take a cab, like $100 cab ride to the right place, and basically the wedding was over.
Oh my God.
That is a great story. I've never heard anybody doing that.
It was really funny. And then the next day I said, "Hey, bud, I really enjoyed your story about that." He said, well, I once went to the wrong funeral. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, a friend of mine died, and I couldn't go to the funeral. I had something else was going on that day." So he said that a week or 2 later in the paper, he saw there was a memorial for Leslie Levitt, and he had a friend, Les Levitt.
Oh.
He went to the memorial. He's sitting in the middle of the whole group, and the guy next to him said, "How did you know Les?" And he said, "Well, I went to high school with him." The guy said, "Well, that's impossible. Les was 96 years old." So he says, I'm in the middle. He said, there was no way I could get out. So he said he sat there for an hour and a half.
Oh, God almighty. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Man.
He was funny. So, they were a nice couple and very funny, and so enjoyed the company.
Did you have to pay extra for that
For the
experience?
entertainment.
No, but it was, help make the trip. He had some good stories like that.
Is there hey, Baharv, is there a nonstop flight to Geneva?
We went through, going over, we went JFK to Nice, and coming back was Geneva to JFK.
Oh, good.
So change planes in JFK both times.
Change planes each of those, and wasn't too bad. If anything, gotta stretch a little bit for an hour or two, and get back going, and they went pretty well.
What airline?
Delta.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're good. I recently went and back now from Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, it was a quick trip. We only actually had 3.5 days there.
Bring everybody up to date on this again. This was
Well, it was an early birthday present from my children, and my granddaughter also went along. So there were 4 of us. It kind of started off rocky because when we got to Amsterdam, my daughter and I got off first, and we were waiting for my son. And I decided I was going to put my jacket on. It was a little chilly. So all of a sudden, my son comes walking off. I'm like, oh, how was your 10-hour trip? Because, we didn't sit together. And then we walked down to go through, you had to go through one place that was secure. And then we were ready to get out our passports. And I said, oh my gosh, I left my purse back right where we were waiting for my son.
oh, good Lord. Oh, my God.
It had my passport, my phone, and my in there.
Oh, Jane.
And thank goodness my children didn't say, how could you do that? See, the problem was I got distracted because I always carry it around my shoulder, but I took it off to put the jacket on, and then he came, and I just was so curious as to how his trip was. So we went to security, and they had us wait about 15 minutes, which was really long. And then this lady came out, and she said she'd take us back through towards where we had disembarked. And then she took us to this other place, and she started talking to this person. Of course, we didn't know what she was saying. And then she asked me what my purse looked like. And I said, well, it was a black Begolini, it's like a fabric type of purse. And about 5 minutes later, this guy comes walking out with my purse. It was sitting in the same spot.
Whoa.
Oh, Jane.
Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, hard to believe.
Well, there was I can't remember if it was a bench or a chair, but it was black. So the purse kind of
just
blended
into
Plus,
the thing. Yeah.
Everybody there was coming off of an international flight, and so you don't have a bunch of just weird people walking around. So I don't know if anybody ever saw my purse, but it was sitting right there. So we got off to a rocky start, but Diane did the whole trip for us. And of course, she has staying at this 5-star hotel. Have any of you been to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Well, we stayed at the Pulitzer Amsterdam, which is, it used to be like 27 homes that they've turned into a hotel. So the second day, my son and I were sharing a room, and I went to get in my backpack for something, and I hadn't zipped it up, but it was on the floor. And I always carry a few things of food with me, like peanut butter and crackers and a protein bar. And I had some peanuts from the plane. And I got in there, and all of a sudden I realized there had been a mouse in there. Because everything had little hairs in it.
In the Pulitzer?
Yes.
Wow.
So we were getting ready to go for the day. So I took the things down there, and it was very obvious. And they said, well, they would inspect it while we were gone. So when we came back like 6 hours later, they said, we've been in your room, everything's fine. We said, okay, well, we're going to put some towels at the door into the hallway so they can't get back in. They said, oh, that's fine. So we walk in the door, and the manager's right behind us, and there goes the little mouse, ready to across the floor. I don't know where it was
Ew.
when they inspected, but so needless to say, they gave us another room. And so one night was free, and then they reduced the rate because they put us in a smaller thing. But you know, if I'd gone on Yelp or something, that
Oh,
would
yeah.
really. So Diane's working with somebody to see about maybe more of a discount because that was a little.
Yeah.
You didn't sign up for that.
No,
No.
but we were there right in the middle of the tulip season.
Mm.
Oh,
So we went to the,
Wow.
and it was absolutely spectacular. My daughter had not been very excited about spending the day going to the tulip garden and the fields. And Diane had said, you have to do that. So we did. And it was really the highlight of our trip.
Yep.
They have 7 million tulip bulbs that they take out and put back in every year.
Amazing.
oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Had your picture on Facebook
Yeah, I tried to
with
put you
to
on there.
tulips, and oh,
Yeah.
They were just
it was gorgeous.
spectacular. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was really fun, spending time with my children and my granddaughter who had wasn't a regular GPS, but something so she could take us all, we wanted to go, we did go to Anne Frank's hiding place for 2 years.
Oh, how was that?
Well, it was very emotional. They've done a good job with the way they have it set up. But then someone suggested we might want to go to her house that she lived in before that. So that was about an hour's walk. I was putting like 16,000 steps.
Oh, wow.
But we were really, and so my granddaughter, directed us there. And no problem. We never took an Uber or anything. The only negative is the people on their bicycles. They
yeah.
absolutely pay no attention to pedestrians.
No.
And you're walking
Paid
on what you think is
transportation.
a sidewalk, and all of a sudden it's a street and there's cars and bikes. And
Yeah.
so, but we had no other incidences. So that was
Man.
good.
Boy, that sounds like a really fantastic
It
trip.
was really fun.
And
then-
your weather was good?
Yes, it was. Yeah, we had no rain. But Susie and I are getting ready for a trip next month.
Mhm.
I guess it'll be after the first Saturday. We're taking
yeah.
the Rocky Mountain train through Utah and Colorado.
Oh, did Diane set that up?
Nice.
Yep, and Diane's going, Carol Fleming's going, Nancy Best, Nancy Mallett,
Police.
Felice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it should be fun. It's kind of a quick trip, 5 days, but it should be beautiful, and we'll have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Where does it start?
It starts in Moab, Utah.
Mhm.
So we fly into Grand Junction, Colorado, and I don't know
And
how
then we go to Moab and
Yeah.
and then we get on the train there. Yeah.
And so you
Pretty
spend the
neat.
night in a hotel, but spend the day on the train.
Yes.
So
That was great.
I'd like to see Felice again and Nancy Mallett.
No, I
come
don't know.
on.
why they don't get on
Yeah.
anymore?
I was just thinking about them the other day, and I thought, oh gosh, I wish they'd
Hold
get
on.
on.
Yeah.
Police used to.
So we'll definitely take pictures from that trip.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we'll send them to you, Tommy, and you can.
Yeah. But if you can, it'll make it a lot easier for me if you email them instead
Email,
of text.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will
Yeah.
do that.
Otherwise, I have to jump through a bunch of gyrations to get them
Okay.
so that they'll go out.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Anybody else got any big trips planned? Anybody? So
Right.
we're going to Munich. We're going to the rail
Portugal.
trip.
Portugal.
Where? Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
Portugal.
Portugal.
Oh, which reminds me, when you go to Portugal, how long will you be there?
I think it's a
8 days?
8-day, it's a land trip. It's not a boat, not a river cruise. It's a land trip. So
Right.
starts in Porto and ends up in Lisbon.
So is this like a tour or you're doing
Yeah.
it on your own?
Oh,
Okay.
no,
So
it's a tour.
will you be in
yeah.
a bus?
Well, I think that you take bus to get from place to place, but you're staying in the little towns all the way. You start in one
Okay.
and in between.
Are
So,
you going on
And
the
did you-
Camino, or
I'm sorry.
are you going on the Camino for that?
The tomato, what'd you say?
Camino.
Camino.
I mean,
Camino is a certain, they have all these different religious trails.
yeah,
Now,
it's-
I
it's a
don't
religious
know
trail.
really. I don't know how it, why it's it's actually configured the way it is. It looks interesting. A lot of little towns of course, Portugal's on the coast anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Right.
from a year from now, and Diane, I think she's organizing all of these trips. Because a year from now, we're on one of her trips. I'm going to go on. Tom decided not to, on the one in Netherlands,
Oh, that
Belgium,
would be
and
nice.
Netherlands during the when the tulip season. So
Oh.
I'm really looking forward.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, she knows all about all those things.
Mm.
Okay.
She's really good.
But that's next
Oh.
year.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost to 4:20.
I have not
next-
seen Becky's kitchen, and I want to know if she got her
show us
kitchen.
Becky. Becky, show the kitchen again.
Okay,
Did I miss that? I'm sorry. I must have missed
No,
that.
that's what we would love to see it again.
okay.
I
You
think she's
start
in the
here
kitchen.
and
And it was
Yeah.
avocado green.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
it's really nice.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and as I told Tom, I said, I'm really glad, except there were just about 4 things that were little things that bug me. But
Hmm.
the biggest one is the fact that the warming drawer on the stove, it doesn't have a kick plate as per se. The warming drawer is down to the floor.
Mm.
And I push it with my foot. So the warming drawer keeps coming open.
Oh,
Man.
But other than that, it took
Nice.
solid 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Now
man.
it's the process of getting everything in the cupboards.
Hmm.
So how did you prepare meals and everything for those 3 weeks?
Well, there were a lot of eating out.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I have a little $50 Walmart microwave that we put up. And so breakfasts were here. The refrigerator was always hooked up.
Okay.
So cooking was just a matter of either microwaving or going out.
did you get all new appliances?
No,
Okay.
I just, the stove was the only new appliance I got.
Okay.
And the dishwasher was already fairly new. Or fridge is fairly new. Of course, now tomorrow will probably go out, but.
Yeah. Well, they last about 8 years now.
Right.
Yeah, I know it. Mm.
But the appliances basically are the same except for the stove.
Okay.
And I'm so excited to have a stove that my other stove worked, but it wasn't big. This one, 27 inches compared to 30, 3 inches makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Sure
a flat
does.
top, so where the other one had about this deep on either side
Mhm.
and around the back and on either side. So you were kind of limited on size pan you could put on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. I'm trying to learn all the ins and outs on it. Eric got the clock started.
Probably
Yeah.
won't learn everything about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
What
to
brand
relearn
did
it's a
Yeah, what-
Bosch.
Bosch?
Oh,
Okay.
I have a
Bosch.
dishwasher. I
Yeah,
love my dishwasher.
Yeah, I've got Bosch dishwasher, the microwave, and now the stove.
Oh,
I
Cool.
guess next will be the fridge. Of course, that's a lot of money too. So
yeah, that is.
You know,
have to
that's
save
the
up on
only
funds.
appliance that has not gone out since we've lived in this house, which is
Good.
will be 12 years. The Bosch dishwasher. Well, my stove. Everything else is
replace.
refrigerator. We had to
Mhm.
replace it, and it was new. I mean, we bought it new. Had to replace it.
Wow.
Washer and dryer. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, when
don't make
Becky was
'em.
talking about not being able to, figure out the stove, Jane, do you remember when we stayed at your daughter's house?
The
We-
coffee maker.
No,
No.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
yeah,
Well,
when we fixed lasagna. She had, you should see the stove she has now. She can't even figure it out, but we were trying to bake a lasagna. We had Tom and Sonny coming for dinner, or they were already there. And after 2 hours, it still wasn't done.
it wasn't done because I didn't know how to turn on the stove.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
One thing now, though, when we replace things, appliances, cars, well, maybe not cars, but we can say probably won't have to do that again.
oh,
True.
no,
I
no.
No.
A short
Mm-mm.
timer? No, not a short
No,
timer.
no. Just like, Rick Putoff, he's 95. He's expecting he's probably going to have to replace that
Yeah.
valve.
That valve.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
well, the next one is on I think it's the 7th, and I will have been over with Jim Peters and Dwayne and Dick Bird, and I'll take some pictures then,
Okay.
and then I'll be able to send those out, and then I'll be at Paul Flatley's funeral, and I'll take some pictures there and have those available to send out. So anyway, and I don't know if any of you from Richmond are going to be at any of that stuff. So anyhow, see you guys in a month. Jimmy, safe travels. Let's
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
who else is traveling. That's
And good luck
Betsy and Tom, safe travels.
and Rick, good luck with your procedure.
Yes,
Yeah.
good luck
Definitely,
with
Rick.
your procedure. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you tell us what day it is, then we'll all send positive vibes that day. So
Right.
absolutely everything will go smoothly.
Yeah.
All
We
the
I
way
don't
to
know
Texas.
what the date's going to be. They're trying to schedule me.
Where are you
Okay.
having it done
Might be
in
in June,
Austin? Rick, where are you having it done in Austin?
in Austin.
Yeah, but
It's
where?
at a heart hospital there. I forget the name of it.
If it's Austin Heart, that was Tom's second home,
Oh.
and they're fabulous.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is Texas cardiology, arrhythmic cardiologist, something like that. That's
Oh.
their home hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Harvey, you got on late. What's going on here is Rick's gonna all of a sudden has had that AFib off and on, and the docs said, "Hey man, you need to have this taken care of." So he's going to go in for one of those ablation procedures.
Yeah.
That's
Good
pretty
sort.
new. It's pulse wave ablation, and my cardiologist says she thinks I got about a 90% chance of it being successful.
Good luck with it,
Good.
obviously.
Yeah.
Like Tommy said, we'll be thinking about you, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
Just
we
let
will.
us know.
Good
Let
talk.
us
Yep.
know.
Okay.
Keep it
Okay.
posted.
Okay.
See you guys the next time.
Okay.
And Jimmy,
Take
we're
care.
looking forward to
Everybody.
See you
more
in
good
June.
music, Jimmy.
Bye.
More good music.
More
Yeah.
music.
Here we
Okay.
go.
No excuses. Just because you're traveling back doesn't mean you can't do it. Okay. All right. We'll see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Never know how to turn this thing.
Well, I know I did leave and it's not making me leave.
Hey, Sandy, by the way,
Neil?
you're welcome to come out and see Jim Peters too. He knows you.
Oh yeah, he does. But I'll see what's going on then.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I can't leave. I'm just gonna stay.
I can't either.
Oh wait, I'll try. Here, there it is. It'd help if I put my glasses on.
Oh.
I can end it for us.
Yeah, I do
If you want
because
me-
I can't seem to get out. I keep pressing the thing.
Okay, I'll just end it. Oh, there you went.